From Appleton, Wisconsin, this is the Anderson Pens Podcast.
Welcome to Anderson Pens Podcast, episode 439 for Thursday, May 12th, 2022.
This week we have Banter news, updates, my ink of the week, a new Pelican, a new Esterbrook, a new Edelstein, a huge bunch of nibs, a contest winner, a new contest plus, a new sailor, a new Penlux, and new Palomino Blackwings that are coming soon.
You need to do that with one breath.
Didn't I do that with one breath?
Did I tell you I'm getting some dogs?
Dogs or dogs?
Yes, dogs.
Dogs.
Yes,
Okay.
After you were talking about dogs there for a while, I decided I was going to get dogs. So I picked up two dogs yesterday.
Off the street?
No, I got them at the Humane Society. I named one Rolex and one Timex.
Okay.
They're my watchdogs.
Your watchdogs, that's very good. Speaking of dogs, I wasn't going to go this way, but you brought up dogs. You remember I already explained scuba and tuba.
Tuba, yes.
So what do you call a scuba diving dog?
Don't
try.
No.
A subwoofer.
Oh.
Ta-da. And I really didn't know you were going to do a dog joke.
It came up kind of last minute.
And then I had one at the ready. I had to think about it. But you didn't see the location bumper. It's for Depawsitory right across the street. I can see it right there.
I can, absolutely.
It is an owner-operated pet store right across the street. They focus on healthy food and treats, along with unique and useful accessories to make living with your pet more fun and enjoyable. So I suppose you'll be over there every day now with your watchdogs.
Well, I didn't really get dogs.
Oh, you didn't really get them? You mean you
I have a watch cat.
You have two watch cats.
I have a Seiko.
But you certainly have a watch cat.
I have a watch cat.
You know what today is, right?
Today, of course, is International Nurses Day.
International
It
Nurses
is.
Day. National Nurses Week here in the States started on May 6th and ran the whole week. People call May 6th Nurses Day, National Nurses Day. And today, May 12th, is International Nurses Day, which is celebrated around the world on the 12th in honor of the anniversary of Florence Nightingale's birth. International Nurses Day marks the contributions that nurses make to society. My sister is a nurse.
Lisa's mother, yes.
That's right.
Yes.
My sister Lisa is an NP, and I say today is International Hug a Nurse Day.
Great.
Yeah. And you were not here last week.
No, I was not.
I was here with Steph. We had fun.
I saw that.
We had a great time.
Yes.
So you didn't hear me say that May is National Bike Month.
That's probably why you called me on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Well, this past weekend, I had a bike ride on Saturday with Steph.
I heard that, yeah.
And then I had a bike ride on Sunday with you. I heard a rumor you needed a nap afterwards.
It was only a couple hours long.
It wasn't because of the bike ride. It was because after the bike ride, all our bike rides end at Copper
always
Rock.
end up at Copper Rock, yep.
May is National Bike Month, promoted by the League of American Bicyclists and celebrated in communities from coast to coast. Bike to Work Week is May 16th through the 22nd. You're not going to be here. You'll be in Chicago.
I will not be here, yeah. I'll be here at the latter end of the week.
Bike to Work Day is Friday, May 20th. Steph and I said we don't usually come here on Fridays, but we might do it that day.
Well, I could probably do that.
You have to bike to work that day.
I'll be here.
On YouTube, in case you missed it, last Friday was, who's this guy? Eric's Top 5 Under 100.
People ask that a lot.
It was just natural. Which, of course, was me with, I think, Steph.
Yes.
And my top 5 fountain pens under $100, but more than 50. Last Sunday was Anderson Pens Sunday Brunch Menu 6, where you helped me and a bunch of people identify vintage Esterbrook's.
I just finished watching that.
It was informative.
There was a lot of good stuff there.
I should have taken notes, because I didn't know it was going to be that in-depth. This was probably not Esterbrook's 101.
The LJ is akin to what earlier model?
Yeah, no, the CH. Tomorrow,
The A is the
Friday, the A. Tomorrow, Friday, there's a rumor that we might post Brian's top 5 Sky's the Limit.
Yes.
Which means price is over $500.
Over $500, yeah.
We already did your under $500. And
that's hard. It's harder than to
you've
pick
said
than
that
it
about
is.
every one of the groupings.
Well,
it's hard to make decisions, isn't it? I just want them all, is what you really want to say. This Sunday, coming up, is Anderson Pen Sunday Brunch Menu 7, where you're going to show me and everyone else how to disassemble piston converters. Some of them, most of them can be, some of them can't be.
Yep.
I'll come back to that, because I brought my Swan to that, remember?
Yes,
my vintage Swan,
you did.
which is that twist filler was really cool.
Which I have to repair every time you pick it out.
Repair, define repair. You have to help me with it.
Okay.
But speaking of vintage, I did want to. I didn't plan on this, but I think we should start mentioning this month's vintage mailer now, because
it's epic.
It's epic. I saw it. This is a lot of pens. That's coming out this Friday, May 27th, and I believe it's going to have a lot of Esterbrook.
This Friday or next Friday?
Not this. The last Friday of this month.
Last Friday.
This is in there somewhere.
Yes.
The 27th of May, and I think it has a lot of Esterbrook.
There are a lot of
list, and there was a lot.
There's a lot.
List.
There's almost probably there's close to 90 Esterbrook's.
And I'll just pretend Brian's not here for a minute. If I were going to get an Esterbrook, I would really want one that was restored by Brian Anderson, because he knows Esterbrook's.
You had your chance to get one.
I did,
and it's sold at the show, and I just
the
laughed.
first one, wasn't it?
It was the second
was,
at the show.
You looked at all of them, and that was the one that stood out.
That was an amazing.
But I
pen.
was making a different purchase that day.
Yes, you were.
And so I didn't want to overindulge by purchasing 2 pens. Speaking of ink, my ink of the week for this week is Sailor, 50 States, Indiana. What's your first thought?
Wow.
Wow is right. I have wow right there.
It's wow.
It is pink. I almost
is.
want to call it a hot pink, but I'm not sure how to define hot pink. But this is pretty wow.
It's in your face.
It's very in your face, and therefore very easy to read.
Now you've got a stub here, though. So
yes, but that's not going away. Even in a fine, that would be cool. I would say no show through.
Yeah, that's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. Very good flow, of course, no feathering. Cleanup on this, however, was a 9.
A 9.
It was a 9.
1 out of 10. 10 being
10 being the most difficult.
royal peen.
This was really difficult. I had to get the bleach out for my hand.
Did you?
Yeah, because I was just not having it. Not having it. As we record this, we are out of this ink.
Yes, yeah.
Except for this one bottle.
That one bottle right there.
But more is coming soon.
More's on its way.
It's actually already ordered. We have not sampled this yet, but when we do, it'll be available not only in the 20 ml bottle, but also in the 3 ml sample.
Yep.
What do you call an alligator detective? An investigator.
We don't have them in our hands.
Not yet.
But they are debuting today, and they are available today for purchase. I am, of course, talking about the Esterbrook Estie Cosmic Wine.
This is a good-looking pen.
It's a very nice-looking pen.
Yep.
Justin will show pictures because we don't have them in our hands. And why don't you?
I saw that. I saw the pen in Chicago. It's amazing.
Again.
It's really
at the pen show or at the store? No, you at the pen show.
At the pen show, yeah. Carrie had one of them.
Carrie wasn't at the store when you were at the store.
That's correct.
You guys missed each other at the store.
We missed each other.
It's the Esterbrook Estie Cosmic Wine. It's the 4th, actually, in Esterbrook Sparkle Edition, following Tanzanite, Montana Sapphire, and Garnet Red. Like the others, Cosmic Wine is limited to the oversized fountain pen. Made with diamond cast, this pen is an elegant representation of long walks in the vineyard and picnics in the summer. A deep burgundy body sparkles against the gold trim, giving this pen a luxurious feel while still being a pen you want to use every day. Nibs will be extra fine, medium, broad, 1.1 stub. Apparently also journaler, needlepoint, and a scribe.
Yes. Will be available. So
and
long walks in the vineyard.
I took that directly from the people who make the pen. So
long walks in the vineyard.
Long walks. Yeah.
It's a good look. It's a good looking pen.
It's a very nice looking pen.
We should have all the specialty nibs journaler, needlepoint, and scribe. So you won't have to wait for those. But
that's actually how you get them these days.
Yes.
You order a brand new pen with it.
You just
and available as of today.
Yes. Yeah. They should be here any minute.
Right.
And there will be some in Chicago too. So.
And I want to say that I have to agree with the gold trim on this one.
Yeah.
It goes with it.
It's very nice. Very nice.
Here's a pen that we do have in our hands, and I think you
it does have gold trim
to keep one.
I've never had one of these. This is the Pelican M800.
This one's black
with red. So this is the new red.
And the 800 I don't post it. I think it is the perfect size of the Pelikan series. It is the size I prefer. 1,000 is very nice. It's a little too big.
Posted doesn't really turn the balance, doesn't flip that balance too far back.
No, you like to post. I don't care to post. Very pretty. Very pretty.
Yes.
There has been talk about whether or not they're still see-through-ish.
Yes.
And I can see through-ish. Through-ish.
Through-ish. I can see through this.
I think I can see through it about as much as I can see through any Pelikan.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're never really, they're not twisting.
I can see the whole piston.
I see the whole piston going up. And if there was ink in there,
you would,
there's still see-through-ish.
I think, while that's nice, I guess, when you had ink in it, it was like the Lamy 2000. You really can't see that ink window much.
No, but this is a beautiful pen.
This is great. Great size.
It is, of course, the second largest of the Pelikan Sovereign series. This one has a body of red and black striped, celluloid acetate, a black cap, a piston filling mechanism, gold plated trim, and a 14-karat bicolor gold nib, an extra fine, medium, or broad. These run a little wider than...
They do, yeah. Your extra fine is you don't really have a needle pointer or extra fine option, so and just not available.
You never had an 800.
I've never had an 800.
Happy birthday, Brian.
I had a 605. That's as far as I went.
A 600 is not that much smaller.
It isn't. It's not.
No, the 200s are quite a bit smaller.
Yeah.
But the 600 isn't that.
No, this is great size.
Small.
I like this pen a lot.
I think we'll stick with Pelikan for just a second here, because do you know what that is?
That I'm hungry.
Yeah, you have an Apatite.
I have an Apatite.
This is, of course, Pelikan Edelstein. Ink of the Year 2022.
Yes.
Apatite. It's blue-green turquoise color that pays homage to the phosphate mineral apatite.
I had no idea that was a mineral.
It's a nice color.
Yeah.
It's certainly a turquoise.
Do
you think it leans green or do you think it leans blue?
Green.
Justin?
Blue.
I think it... Sometimes I look at it and I think it looks a little blue, and sometimes I look at it and I think it looks a little green. It's really on some sort of cusp there for my eyes. 50 ml bottle and a nice bottle.
Yeah, I love this bottle.
I
love how it's shaped.
Yep.
It's got that indentation on the sides.
It's not going to tip over.
No.
Not going to tip over. You've got a whole bunch of nibs here. I don't know where they came from.
You probably shouldn't ask questions around here, because sometimes I do come up with stuff.
You've got a whole bunch of these. You're calling them vintage.
Well,
Vanishing Point nib units on the site right now.
Yeah, they're not. These ranged. Now we already have sold a few of these since we put them up, so. There's not as many as there originally was, but these range in years anywhere from 1997 to say like 2016, I think was the newest one. So, at the newest, they're still 6 years old, but 14 karat.
This is what you have right now left. You have some 14 karat that say Namiki.
Yep.
And they're fines. You have some 14 karat that say Pilot that are medium, and you have some 18 karat Pilot that are medium.
Yes.
But,
and all in gold.
All in gold.
Yep.
All in gold.
The rhodium ones are gone, I think. But yeah, so you mean they don't make the 14 karat nibs anymore, so those are pretty desirable. Oh. But they don't come with. They just come the unit, no converter, of course. But
and a good price compared to what a brand new one goes.
Yeah.
It's a not half price, but it's a discount.
Yeah.
And they're good. They're nice.
And I just had these lying around. They're essentially new stock.
Okay. Did you have these lying around too?
Yeah, these were in the same box.
Okay.
I don't know why.
These are
Pilot
Falcon nibs.
Nibs.
And I did not realize until right now, today I learned, these sections just screw out of the pen.
Yes.
And you can put it...
What did you think?
I don't know. I thought you had to pull the nib.
No. In fact, these are interchangeable between Falcon and Metal Falcon. So exact same section. We've got some rhodium. And then I do also have one gold, which is Namiki branded.
That's broad,
for the black
right?
and gold. Yeah, for the
rhodium broad in 14 karat and a rhodium extra fine in 14 karat. I didn't look at the price of these, but
they're reasonable.
You don't usually find these.
Well, yeah, you basically can't get them. So unless you
usually
buy
the whole pen.
Yeah.
And then you have how do you even say this? Osmiroid.
Yeah.
Osmiroid nibs. You found a huge batch of Osmiroid nibs. You have some of them in front of you. Justin will show just a very small sample.
Should I read these off?
Yeah, go ahead. Because
so these
I made the list.
You made an entire list here. So these are Now, Osmiroid Nibs, Osmiroid, of course, is a company made out of from England, and they use threaded nib units just like Esterbrook. And as a matter of fact, they will fit vintage Esterbrook pens.
Or the modern ones with the adapter?
No,
they won't.
They will not. While they do screw into the adapter, the Osmiroid nib has this extension on the back here, and that does get in the way.
That doesn't affect it with a vintage Esterbrook, but it does with
it does adapter. Because the MV adapter has a stop point where the cartridge or the converter has to meet up with, and with this extension here on the back of the nib, this part of feed here, it bumps into that, and you can't screw the nib unit down all the way.
Okay.
So while it is threaded to fit, I guess you would have to cut this off if you wanted it to fit in there, and I don't think
do that though. But
that'd be a lot of work.
But they do fit in all vintage
Esterbrookes. They will fit in,
which makes them popular.
Yes,
and they're odd.
There are some really
read the names.
So India Ink sketch pen, Mari Left Hand 4, which I actually have here, is a really super cool nib.
Well, that's one of the ones that Justin shows.
It's bent. It looks like it's bent to the left.
Is it called a left hand because a left-handed person used it and bent it that way?
No, but it's a neat looking nib. Mari Left Hand 4, Mari 4, Mari 2, Mari Left Hand 2, Mari 3. Copper plate, and then we have a bunch of italics, extra fine straight, italic fine medium straight, italic medium straight, italic broad straight, and then we have some obliques. Which I think are amazing. Italic fine oblique, medium oblique, and broad oblique. Check these out. But look at that nib.
Okay, it's broad.
It's broad.
And it's oblique.
And
I'm calling this a left foot.
Yep. So we've got roll-a-tip, extra fine, roll-a-tip fine soft, fine hard, medium soft, left-hand medium.
He's going to say roll-a-tip like we all know what it is.
Medium hard, and roll-a-tip broad.
Roll-a-tip?
So that's their standard tipped.
Oh, that's just what they called it.
Yes.
So, okay. But there's like 23 different ones.
There's a lot of them, yeah. And there were more of some than others. Like this funky left-hand 4 here. I only have a couple of those, but these are all essentially new old stock. Some of them have the silver lettering on the collar there.
Museum pieces.
They're not museum pieces. Use them, ink them up. But there's a lot of them. They don't come around that often. They're all gold plated except for one. The India Ink nib is just a plain steel.
I was going to ask about the India Ink. It's specifically so you can use it with India Ink in a fountain.
That I don't know, but. Okay. That's the only one that is plain steel. The rest of them are all gold plated.
I still wouldn't put India in.
I probably wouldn't,
especially in an Esterbrook.
Yeah.
But all I'm thinking is, you're selling all these Esterbrookes at the end of the month. I need one of each of these nibs.
Yeah. There's some really great ones in here, and a lot of these you're not going to find an equivalent in Esterbrook. They just don't exist. And so Osmiroid was famous for having all these italics and weird nibs.
And you got most of them right there.
And we've got a bunch, yep.
What do you call a snake wearing a hard hat? A boa constrictor.
As I have previously pointed out, you were not here last week.
Yes.
And Steph was here, and we had a contest last week.
Okay.
That was slightly complicated. It was having to do with the Urameku inks, which are all very interesting, but there are lots of them. I kept saying there were 8, but I think there's 9. I think. I keep losing track. Anyway, last week I said, please help me.
You've got 9 here, so
there are 9.
Must be.
Please help me choose. This will be for my next ink of the week. Today was Indiana, and next week I will use the winner of this contest.
Okay.
Because there were so many to choose from. It's very low voting, and the winner got 23%.
Okay.
So that doesn't sound like a winner, but that was. The next closest 2 were 18%. Okay. So the winner was, can you say it?
Kangyu?
Can you say it? Can you say it?
Kangyu.
It's the lavender one.
I
already have picked up my sample, and that will be what we show next week. The next 2 closest was the Amamayo, and the Byakuya, which I guess I'm going to have to use in the future. I do think that because they say it depends on the paper you use. I'm going to use 3 different papers. I'll use the Tomoe and Rhodia and Nemosine and something.
Yeah.
Marilyn Garner, I'm going to read another of hers because she often puts things just the way I wish I could. All the new Sailor inks look beautiful, although some may not be saturated enough for legibility. That is the exact phrase I have often searched for. This ink is not saturated enough for legibility. What I usually say is, I can't read this damn thing. Saturated enough for legibility? Perfect. Steve Maas had an interesting way of a suggestion for how to pick it. Just roll a 6-sided dice 8 times, then add the total of the rolls, and then divide by 8, and then pick one at random. So I thought that was pretty easy. We did have a winner. We do have a winner. Right. The winner of this week's $20 gift certificate is Melanie Botel. Melanie, congratulations. Melanie's comment is, I would love to see the Kangyo. Well, you're going to next week, especially with your handprint. I will work on that. I bet it will show a lot of lovely color shift. We shall see. As always, great podcast. Fantastic to have Steph join Eric today. You are both delightful. Did you hear that? I didn't make that up. You can go check it. Melanie, write to me, Eric at AndersonPens.com, and we will take care of the $20 credit to your Anderson Pens account. I do have an off-topic comment.
Okay.
Because it's mandatory if somebody mentions something like this. Beth Cunningham says, belated happy Cinco de Mayo. It was an especially happy day because my grandnephew was born. Happy birthday to Beth's grandnephew. I had to actually, what is a grandnephew? That would be...
a little one.
Yeah. Not very grand?
Not very grand.
A tall, a grande.
Venti.
I think it is the grandson of one of your siblings. That's what I'm going with. I have a new contest, but I haven't told you.
Oh, you haven't told me.
I haven't told you what it is yet, so I'm just going to ask you. Vintage versus modern, your own collection, what are the percentages? Off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head, let me see if I do the math. I am probably 80%.
80? You're going 80, that's vintage.
80 to 85% vintage.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you said 90, but you haven't counted. This is off the top of your head.
Well, yeah. I mean, I started to count a month ago, and it didn't go so well.
You stopped at 80%?
I probably stopped at 80%.
I haven't looked at all my pens and counted either, but I'm going to say I'm probably 40 vintage and 60 modern. But it's just a guess. But I
40 vintage pens?
40
and 60 modern pens?
And probably. But I want to know what people are collecting out there in the audience.
Yep.
We do often talk about vintage because we like vintage. I have vintage. You have a lot of vintage. And I just want to know, is there anybody out there who just collects vintage? That's how I started. I said I was only going to collect vintage.
Yeah. You know, the newest pen's a Parker 51 or a 75 or something. You know.
Oh, a Parker 51 is something that I have, and it's definitely a vintage, and it's on my desk, and you probably use it every single day.
I'd be willing to bet there's probably not a single person in our audience that only collects vintage. There are some really great. They're really great modern pens. So
there are, and plus some modern pens are already vintage.
Yes,
you can have. I think you had a pen yesterday, or not yesterday. You will have a pen. See, yes. In the future, you will have a pen on Sunday brunch.
Yes,
that is modern, but it kind of is vintage at this point.
Yeah,
right?
Well, at this point, it's how many years old? I've had it for 8 or 10 years.
Okay, because we're saying 20 is where vintage starts.
Yeah.
Anyway, please let me know in the comments below what you think your percentage is in your personal pen collection, vintage versus modern.
Are you going to average these out?
Yeah, I'll do some math. I'll do statistics.
There we go.
And I'll make them lie. If you do comment there, you'll be entered into the random drawing to win a $20 gift certificate. Credit to your Anderson Pens account.
There is no wrong answer.
There is no wrong answer. I suppose there are people who collect just modern.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. That.
Know your audience. Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
I understand there on the horizon, there is a new Sailor.
There is.
Do you know what it's called?
It is called the Sailor Pro Gear Storm Over the Ocean.
Storm Over the Ocean. We do not have it yet.
Not yet.
We have seen pictures. It kind of looks like a storm over the ocean. It
does look like a storm.
They planted that seed, and I can see it. We'll have Justin show some pictures. Why don't you tell us everything you know about it?
A distant lightning storm upon the wild ocean would be a brilliant event for any sailor to see. This striking natural phenomenon has been captured in a glimmering deep ocean blue complemented by an electric lilac highlight on both finials in Sailor's newest professional gear release, Storm Over the Ocean. The way light plays off of the deep blue color with the softly sparkling meta shine is like the brief reflection of lightning on the ocean waves, while the lilac accents bring out the vividness of the sky after a flash. Whether the waters of life are calm or stormy, the Storm Over the Ocean by Sailor is the pen of choice for any brainstorming session or late night reflection. Slated for a late June worldwide release, the Storm Over the Ocean will be available in slim and standard versions with 7 nib sizes and King of Pen version in 2 nib sizes, medium and broad.
When are they coming?
June.
June.
Late June. Worldwide.
Worldwide, which means including Japan. And
Yes.
not a North American exclusive.
Yes.
And you've seen the pictures. What do you think?
I like the lilac on the finials.
it an
Really a
interesting
very
looking pen.
nice looking pen. Yeah.
Obviously, I gave you what Sailor stuff to read there. But that helps.
You didn't think I could come up with that?
It helps when they make the stories like that.
You can picture it. Yeah.
It makes me like the pen more. So I try to stay away.
It's a good looking color. I like this one better than some of the previous pens that have come out in the last year. And this is a very nice combination.
Yes, it's going to be beautiful.
That King of Pen is going to be amazing, I'm sure.
It is, well, all King of Pens, but this one is cool. Another one that I can't wait to see.
Yes.
Is we don't have it yet, but
still
I've
not
seen
here.
the pictures.
Yeah.
Penlux. I don't think we've talked about it on the podcast yet.
Okay.
This is the Penlux Delgado Cherry Blossom. Gorgeous pen.
Yes. Limited
And
edition.
Very
too,
limited.
Yes.
I think they're making 199.
Yes.
Unless I'm lying, but I don't think so.
No, I think that's the number.
199 pens.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. As spring unfolds, so too does the newest design in the Penlux Masterpiece Delgado series, the Cherry Blossom. Cherry blossoms bring the sweet delights of early spring to much of the world with their gentle pink and white blooms and refreshing floral scents. The Penlux Masterpiece Delgado Cherry Blossom takes those blooming colors and paints them into its elegant limited edition translucent pearly design that's nicely complemented by pink gold plated accents. All of the details have been considered, from the Penlux logo embossed on the clip down to the nib, which also features the embossed Penlux logo and unique cutouts on both sides of the Flex version. Each pen will also include a sizable 50 milliliter bottle of Mo ink by Sailor in a deep royal blue. Let the shimmering sweetness of Penlux Masterpiece Delgado Cherry Blossom bring new ideas into full bloom. On the page before you, available in fine, medium, broad, 1.1. There's a special order 14 karat flex and an 18 karat that's fine or medium, not flex.
Correct.
Although any nib will flex once.
Once.
Yeah.
Exactly once.
Gorgeous pen. I am really surprised
This
they're
looks
only
great.
making 199.
This looks great.
Because I think this one is going to fly out the door.
And it's not as pink as I pictured it. It's a little more, got a little hint of orange
It
maybe
has
to it.
a wide
And the
range.
rose gold
It's just-
trim.
It looks very edible.
Yes.
It's very nice looking pen. Speaking of edibles, Coffeehouse. What's going on at
Palomino
Coffeehouse?
Blackwing pencils, the volume 200 coffee.
It's Coffeehouse. I don't know why I left
coffee-
the word house off.
Coffeehouse.
Coffeehouse.
They're
They're going to be here soon.
very
we don't
soon.
have them
yes.
yet.
It is set to tribute to coffee houses and the creative culture they help cultivate. Each pencil features a metallic copper design inspired by the classic copper coffee roasting machines found in many coffee houses during the 50s and 60s. These pencils also feature a firm graphite core that is perfect for finding inspiration in a local coffee house. Blackwing Limited Edition Volumes 200 Coffee House pencils come in a 12-pack gift box and also doubles as a pencil cup.
We don't have it here to show, but it does. It does double as a pencil cup. A quite nice one, too, because it's sturdy.
Nice sturdy
I
cardboard.
was, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, I was at Starbucks.
You were.
And I had a notebook and a pen.
You had a banana pencil.
Not a pencil. But I caught myself there writing a page in the notebook, thinking to myself, when is the last time I sat in a coffee place and wrote in a notebook? Because it's been a very long time.
Okay.
Mostly because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But they're open again, and I had some time on my hands, so I did that. And yes, I could see myself using pencils, because I do like pencils.
They're good for drawing, too.
Not as much as you like watches, but I do like pencils. And if you got into collecting pencils, this would not be a bad place to start.
Yeah,
this is a very nice looking pencil from the pictures. And that's all I have. Did you bring anything?
That's it, I think.
Why don't you read that one?
So thanks for joining us. Tune in next time for more talk about pens, ink, and paper.
Speaking of paper, Lisa's coming next week, right?
Yes.
Okay, so next week is not you.
That's correct.
Lisa will be here next week.
Yep.
You can check us out on social media as Anderson Pens. I understand there is a store in Chicago.
There's a store in Chicago. It's in the ground floor of the Palmer House Hilton. We are open 7 days a week. You'll see Lisa there most of the time. I'll be there next week.
Does that store have a website?
Chicago.andersonpens.com.
Fantastic. Please like this video and consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye.